Yo, what's up, folks?
Yo.
We're back again. Flooded Talk. This is what I'm gonna call the CoronaViral edition.
Oh, social distancing.
Well, we're doing that right now just by doing this podcast.
That's what I said. Exactly. We are setting the example.
Setting the example, folks. If you want to talk to your friends, do it over Skype. If you want to meet for church, do it over Skype. If you want to watch a movie, get your friends together and synchronize a Netflix over Skype. But yeah, man. Oh, dude, how much difference does a week make? For real?
Yeah, I mean, if you want, you could just give it. You could just give me. Yeah, you were right.
Yeah, you were right, dude. And I was like, oh, when I literally the very next day, I was like, dang, I should not have been down.
You're almost Rudy Gobert out here.
Oh, dude, I was, dude. I was just like, whoa, I should not have been downplaying this thing at all. At all.
No, I was calling this one. I called it.
Oh my goodness. But
it's crazy because even based off of what I was saying, like this could have been a moderate issue if we had a government response, but because we had no government response, it is now apocalypse now.
Well, here's the thing, dude. It would have been if we had jumped on this as a nation, we'd be doing the things that we're doing right now, like 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Taking drastic measures to make sure that the virus doesn't spread. There's 7,000 people now are infected in the U.S. As a matter of fact, I saw a news report earlier this evening that said that we gained 1,000 diagnosed cases in 24 hours.
There you go.
And the death toll is at 70 or a little bit above 70. In any event, my name is Steve. On the other side of the booth is Jay. And no Erica again this week. She's on a bit of a hiatus, but she'll definitely be in and out from time to time. But as we said last week, we'll soldier on. But yeah, hopefully she's okay. I haven't heard from her this week.
Yeah, I know, right?
So I hope she's not sick.
Look who's worried now.
Yeah, but like everything is shut down now. Stores are. I mean, the stores, they're trying to keep their shelves stocked, but you're not going to be able to get water or toilet paper or napkins. Like that stuff is just gone. A bunch of canned goods are gone. Like non-perishable food items.
It makes no sense. Why are people hoarding toilet paper? It makes no sense.
Or and water, for that matter. Water and toilet paper. Like what? I don't know. But yeah. So craziness. We're in unprecedented waters here with this. We're taking measures that we've never taken in this country ever before by a long shot. It could be 2 weeks from now, it's all over, and we're just like, whew. Or it could be a situation where we really spike and we hit Italy levels with our outbreak. Who knows? We're just gonna have to wait and see what's gonna happen. But it's definitely serious, and people are really starting to take it serious, I suppose. Donald Trump finally got some sense in his head today, in how he talked about this thing. Although he did throw a, like, I want to say unrealistic comment.
So look, bro.
Wait, you're saying you see no video?
No, you stop. No, don't. I don't. Not on there.
No. Okay. Just making sure our stream was live. There is going to be a little bit of delay, so. But yeah, so he said that when it's all over, there's gonna be demand like you couldn't believe, and it's just gonna bring the economy
but
back.
seriously, no. He don't give him a pat on the back because
Yeah.
he's now taking it halfway seriously. Like, no. He's an abject failure.
Of course. Okay.
We're not going to give him any kudos for now and be like, oh my goodness.
I made a mistake. Of course. He's the worst president in history, bar none.
But I mean, like, not even, like, I'm not saying it's just because we hate him, but I'm like, you were trying to say, like, at least now he sounded like a mature adult. Like,
no. I'm not even going to give him that. I'm just saying he finally made a comment comporting with reality. Is basically all I'm saying.
Okay. That's not something that should be praiseworthy or highlighted from a president.
You see how low the bar is with Donald Trump?
That's my point. No, so I won't lower the bar for a president at all. I don't care who he is. No, we're not going to praise that. Not around here.
Okay, got it. Duly noted.
Good day, sir.
Yeah. All right. So, in any event, we're going to go ahead and get the show proper started with our news items. This is going to be a decidedly coronavirus-tinged show. Literally, you cannot escape the coronavirus in any story.
No. Look at this. I'm dressed in my Ravens gear right now because this is the one time I'm happy that the NFL doesn't give a damn about human rights, okay?
Oh, no.
The offseason must go on. My Ravens got Calais Campbell and Michael Brockers. Re-signed Jihad Ward, traded Hayden Hurst, and cut Jace Hurst. Whoa! Call! I'm sorry.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh, man. But in any event, all right, so Game of Thrones news at the top of the show. Game of Thrones star Christopher Hivju, we talked about him 2 shows ago, getting the role in The Witcher. Playing one of the Witchers, one of the newer Witchers that are going to show up in that storyline. But in any event, he has tested positive for the coronavirus 2 weeks after he got the role in The Witcher. He tested positive for the coronavirus. So it says here, this is in Variety. This is on Variety's website. And let's see. He revealed his diagnosis on Instagram, saying that he's currently self-quarantining with his family in Norway. His comment on Instagram was, "Sorry to say that I today have tested positive for COVID-19 coronavirus. My family and I are self-isolating at home for as long as it takes. We are in good health." Well, maybe not. I only have mild symptoms of a cold. There are people at higher risk for who this virus might be a devastating diagnosis. So I urge all of you to be extremely careful. Wash your hands. Keep 1.5 meter distance from others, or 3 feet, for us here in the U.S.
As you know,
yeah,
we're all on that, what the hell what do we call our system?
The standard system, I think.
Seems like metric is pretty standard.
Well, metric is actually standard for the world.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying. But we're assholes.
We're the odd ones.
So we call our little niche thing standard because we're assholes. That's the very Trump thing of America. But continue.
Yeah. So he says, stay 1.5 meters distance from others. Go at a minimum. Go in quarantine. Just do everything you can to stop the virus from spreading. Together we can fight this virus and avert a crisis at our hospitals. Please take care of each other. Keep your distance and stay healthy. And there's a picture of him and his wife on Instagram with that message. And,
the irony here is everybody screaming about let's do this together, solidarity, but stay far apart.
Yeah, let's fight this together. Stay away. Stay away from me, and we can fight this together.
Yeah, see, that people is actual irony. See how great that is. Mark this down, folks.
Irony for the win. That is our Game of Thrones news for today. Christopher Hivju has the coronavirus. I'm pretty sure he'll recover and be ready to be in season 2 of The Witcher, but stay away from older folks, which I'm sure he'll do. And
yeah. Also,
yes.
Why is the vast majority of older black folks are calling the coronavirus the Rona?
No. Where did you see this? The Rona?
It's in, like circumstance, and observational evidence.
The Rona.
Older people in my family have been calling it the Rona. Be safe, don't get the Rona now.
Get the Rona.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, people hear different things, I suppose.
And black people always got to make something cool.
Yeah, the Rona. Hey, the Rona does sound cooler than the coronavirus.
The coronavirus taking over. Be careful, don't get that Rona, baby.
Don't want to get that Rona. Yo, you got that Rona. Yo, he got that Rona. He got that Rona down the street. Stay away from that dude. He got that Rona.
Exactly. It just has a flow to it, A certain familiarity,
Absolutely.
if you will.
Absolutely. And we'll continue with our Corona episode. And so now we have some regular news. Is it normal? Well, let's see. All right, so actually, here's one piece of non-corona related news, and this is going to be a bit on the election. So we still, even though the coronavirus is still going on, we are in the middle of an election. We are in an election year. We've got Democratic primaries happening. We're down to 2 candidates, Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. We know that, the forces are arrayed against Bernie and trying to take him down. They throw everything everything including the kitchen sink at Bernie Sanders to torpedo his ability to win the nomination. One of the ones that has persisted since 2016 was the Bernie Bros narrative. Bernie Bro narrative.
Bernie bros, Bernie.
The Bernie Bros. And it was back then it was a way to kind of just discredit him by saying, all his supporters were, white males.
Angry young white guys.
Yeah, angry young white guys, right. And then currently the Bernie Bro, I guess, epithet is just thrown at his supporters who basically troll people on Twitter, supposedly. Put air quotes around that one, But hard data. This is an article from Salon. So hard data shows that Bernie Bros are a myth, such as it were. The article goes on to say that, and I'll just kind of summarize it here, but the article just basically says that, what everybody complains about, in particular as of late, Elizabeth Warren, when she just kind of got all, offended based on her, basically backstabbing her supposed friend, Bernie Sanders, calling him a closeted sexist at the beginning, was that she was getting snake emojis in her Twitter feed from people who didn't appreciate her, backstabbing Bernie Sanders, which is what she did, quite for her, or her campaign did, and she allowed it to happen and also doubled down on it. And then she continues to, anytime anyone asks her about Bernie Sanders' supporters being, uniquely mean online, she says yes, that's exactly the case. It's true, but statistics show that that's not the case. People on Twitter behave on Twitter the way they're going to behave on Twitter, regardless of who they support or whether they're even supporting anyone politically. I mean, you're going to get what you're going to get on Twitter or on any online communication platform, whether it's a forum, whether it's Discord, whether it's
science.
Yes, you can't argue against science. So this is not the whole idea of getting trolled on the internet is not unique to Bernie. It's not unique coming from Bernie Sanders supporters. Supporters of all the candidates who are on Twitter can be trolls. Right? Now, the one interesting thing that this article did bring out, which I thought was something that actually was in Bernie Sanders' favor, is that apparently Bernie Sanders has more supporters on Twitter.
because Twitter happens to skew younger demographically than other platforms, therefore he has more of a presence there. So therefore, it seems that they attack more because there's more of them concentrated there.
Yes, but what that means is the rest of you can't. You just don't have support among younger people. So, I can imagine that the rest of them, if they're not aware of this, they're sitting there thinking, "Yeah, our supporters aren't as mean as Bernie's supporters on Twitter." No, you don't have enough supporters on Twitter for them to outnumber the Bernie supporters on Twitter. Okay, so there are just more people who support Bernie Sanders who have potential to be trolls than there are your supporters on Twitter that have a potential to be trolls. But the per capita, I guess the percentage of people that could be trolls are not higher among Bernie Sanders supporters than on other supporters. It's just that if you got I'm gonna just pull out arbitrary numbers. If Bernie Sanders has 1,000 supporters tweeting about him on Twitter, and Elizabeth Warren has 100, and 10% of those supporters are trolling, there you go. Elizabeth, you have no game on Twitter. That's the problem. If you did, you probably wouldn't be complaining about Bernie Sanders.
I mean, also, if they were being honest about this whole Bernie Bros thing or whatever, they keep talking about Bernie Bros, but at the same time, there should be a media fire about someone flashing a Nazi swastika flag at a Jewish candidate's rally. This is the first time in my life I have not seen the world on fire off of something like that. And that's amazing to me. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, when I saw that video, I was shocked. I was like, "Whoa, how is that dude not getting beat up right now?" But in any event, it was like he just unfurled a swastika flag right behind Bernie Sanders. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then in the very next day or that afternoon after that happened, they're like, "And what about your Bernie Bros, Bernie? Did you not see the swastika? Why aren't you asking me questions about this? That's what's
why are you asking me about a small percentage? Well, let me tell you about it.
I'm going to tell you about something.
Let me tell you.
It was not me who unfurled the swastika.
If we had Medicare for all, they wouldn't be hanging the swastika flags. No.
Everybody's healthy. Everybody.
Right. That person obviously needs therapy. If he had Medicare for all, he would be able to get his therapy paid for. Medicare for all. Oh, man. But yeah, so, crocodile tears from those other politicians. They just don't have support on Twitter. So they think that their supporters are more genial than Bernie Sanders supporters. Not the case, according to science. There's just more people that support Bernie Sanders on Twitter, so suck it, centrists. Anyways. All right, back to the coronavirus, because can't stay away from that news. So on The Guardian, on their website, they have a summary of the biggest developments in the global coronavirus outbreak. So we're going to run through these. It's not a long list. When you start to go across the world, you can kind of sum up stuff that's happening in some pretty bite-sized chunks. So the global death toll has moved past 7,000. So 7,000 people have died. We're at 70 here in the U.S. They're about somewhere, some number like that. We're above 3,000 cases in the United States. There are 181,000 confirmed cases. 181,377 confirmed cases, and 78,085 people have recovered. So a little less than half of the confirmed cases show recovery. 7,119 people have died. And that information was compiled by the Johns Hopkins University Center for Systems Science and Engineering. So, most people are recovering. That's the good news. But, people are dying.
It's good for every... Right, so far, it's good for those 78,085 people. It's not so good news for that 7,119.
No, not good news for those folks. Or their families, quite frankly.
Exactly, I'm saying. So all I'm saying is, like...
I would imagine that... People, go ahead.
People say stuff like it was the suspect received a minor gunshot wound. Bitch, that gunshot wound was major as fuck to him. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I would imagine a vast majority of the people who have recovered know a good portion of the 7,119 people that died.
Right.
Probably. Britons were told to curtail social interactions. The new government advice. Remember, the UK right now has a prime minister that's
Americans. The UK has their own version of Donald named Boris. Yeah, Boris. His hair is just as weird in a different way, and he is just as bad as with women in the exact same way, terrible. And he's just as nuts in a nutshell.
And
so
racist.
In case you didn't know Americans.
Yeah, he's this. It's like the British version of Donald Trump.
Yes,
for real. So he was on record, I guess, last week saying that everybody should just get infected so we can generate herd immunity. Okay, so that was dumb, but in any event, he, just like Donald Trump, he changed his tune as well. So in something of a U-turn, the Prime Minister's in the Prime Minister's first daily press conference, Boris Johnson said people with underlying health conditions, pregnant women, and anyone aged 70 years or older should pay particular heed. Anyone whose relatives showed signs of illness were to self-isolate for 2 weeks. So he's basically calling for the UK public to, bring down their social interactions. It doesn't say here in the wrap-up that they have any particular, a number of people to not gather together, but... he's calling on Britons to, curtail social interactions.
1.5 meters.
1.5 meters, right. That's what Mr. Hivju told us. Americans received similar advice. The U.S. President, Donald Trump, the twin of Boris Johnson, recommended Americans avoid gatherings of more than 10 people, warning them that stricter measures were necessary to slow the spread of the virus and that a recession could well be on the way. I'm sure that hurt his pride to say that because he's so worried about the markets.
That's the only thing that's keeping him in office.
Of course, he wants to say every day, all day, that the economy is doing better than it's ever done in the history of the United States because him. So
Yeah.
he's not going to be able to say that right now. Or right now, I mean, we're literally if we go 2 months in the current state of the market, then we will technically be in a recession. So
Recession. Yep.
I will say the interesting thing. I'm just going to stop here on the American side. So what's interesting about this is, when you listen to the news, and I'm sure you've been watching the news when you can during this whole process. All these state governments are, they're closing down restaurants and movie theaters, and gyms are closing. And restaurants aren't closing per se. They're allowing restaurants to do
carry out.
Yeah, carry out and delivery. Governors are saying, hey, gatherings of more than however many people are banned. The president is saying, no more than 10 people should get together. I think the official CDC number is no more than 50. None of this stuff is on penalty of law, though. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I guess you could test it. Like, if you got a block party together, I mean, would police come and disperse your party because of the guidance by, local governments or the...
Well, I was somewhat experienced. I can kind of sort of tell you, which means it depends on what neighborhood you're in and what you look like.
That I agree with. I would agree with that totally. But
experience tells me.
Yeah, I understand. I get you. But none of this stuff is officially like being enforced per se, and especially with what the president said should be done. It's not something that he's saying has to be done, or else there's legal penalties. And the things that are exempt, like, obviously, they're not exempting like regular work. So if you work at T. Rowe Price, let's say, right, or you work at Legg Mason, or you work at whatever,
Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, just any office type environment, and it could be a place where 500 people work in your building.
Any type of place where you have TSP reports.
Yeah. Well, yeah, TSP reports. But I mean, even like places like I don't know, Five Below, or Macy's, or
any retail office space,
fast food
warehouse
place.
Like what about like how Amazon works? These huge warehouses with people all over the place, like ants moving, parcels back and
warehouses. Like they're like, yeah, though you guys are all exempted. And my thing is like, okay, but if you're telling people not to gather in groups larger than 50 because you could potentially spread the virus, the things that they're other than giving guidance to have restaurants not have people sitting in the restaurant to eat, all those other places aren't things you're going to do every single day for hours on end. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be sitting in a restaurant every day for hours on end. You're not. But what you are going to be doing is working around 500 people every day for hours on end. So tell me, how do you stop the virus when the majority of Americans work and you're just telling them, oh, don't do this, but still go to work around all these people that you would only be around for maybe an hour or two once in a while.
That's why they're saying stay, because at these other places they're saying stay 1.5 meters apart.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, when everybody's coughing and sneezing, it creates a cloud of spores.
Well, maybe they're going to have to make the TSP reports digital now.
Because, we probably all sit in our desks, probably 1.5 meters away from each other. Maybe, I don't know. That's probably barely 1.5 meters away.
We're pretty close to that. Yeah, I'd assume so.
It's definitely within 6 feet. But maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna say we probably sit between 3 and 6 feet.
Yeah, 3 and 5 feet away minimum.
Yeah. In most offices.
We're minimum 6 feet. Because think about it.
That's true. Yeah, because if you laid, if you
laid down.
Yeah, and we're talking about from chair to chair, but from desk to desk, it's probably like 3 feet. Like just not. I mean, from like the space where your desk starts.
Yeah. That
aisle, that aisle
about
space.
3, but if
like
you do like chair to chair, that's like 6.
Chair to chair, 6 definitely. That probably more than 6. I'm gonna say like 7 feet chair to chair.
Yeah.
But that aisle space is 3 feet. So when you get up to walk out of your desk, you're you're closer than 6 feet.
But that's very briefly. That's briefly in transit, and then you're not touching anyone or interacting. That's why it's called social distancing, not mass hermitage.
Wear a face mask and wipe your desk down all day.
No, only the sick people should wear face masks.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, don't confuse the guidelines to the listeners.
I know. The thing is that you could
all 5 of these people will be confused.
Right. Obviously, if you're not sick, the face mask does you no good. But so there's that. So everybody's going to work. You're still going to be around people. We do sit a minimum of 3 feet to 6 feet away from each other. And most workplaces. So maybe that's okay. It remains to be seen whether or not we have to take the additional step and having people just not even be in offices. I mean, and to really be honest, if any place where they could telework, people should be teleworking right now. That really should be what should be happening.
The thing is, that's going to become permanent, though. That's going to be like the new American model if this lasts,
And
like
I think that's why, and I think that's why it's not being instituted widely, because I think whatever we do now to alleviate the hardship of having to deal with this is going to be hard to take away when we go back to normal. So. And I think a lot of decision makers know that, so it's like, we don't want to have to do this unless we absolutely have to. Like they're talking about, like right now, politicians, or a few politicians, both on the right and the left, are talking about instituting a universal basic income of just cash given to every American every month. Try taking that.
You give that shit away for 2 months, it's all right.
Try taking that stuff away.
Giving up on that,
people will be like, oh hell no. No.
I'm never giving it. Right out my cold, dead hands.
Yeah, they will not be able to take that junk away. That'll be the new normal. Everybody get $1,000 or however much it ends up being.
However, Andrew Yang will be like, Yang Gang in the building.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So
you won't be able to run no more, though.
Well, yeah, because his issue will be gone.
Like,
we're already getting that money, Andrew. Go sit down.
All right. I do want to say this. I'm about to depress you now.
Okay.
We've got at least another 36 years of Pete Buttigieg running for president.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Oh no, please.
I apologize.
Especially if Joe Biden becomes the president, and he's gonna put that man in some cabinet level position, and we're gonna have to see his rat-faced self
for 36 years at least.
God.
I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Just brace yourself. That's all. I apologize.
Oh, dang. Oh well.
Way to be a mood killer.
Yeah. Well, maybe Beto O'Rourke will overshadow him with his attempt to get automatic weapons out of the hands of every American.
No, he's just going to curse
AR-15s.
his way out of every election because on the left, if you curse, you're a bad person. He will get you out of every election.
Right. He's gonna go up to people's. He's gonna like be on TV. It's like, that's right, we're coming for your fucking guns.
Oh!
Oh man. But anyways, so what do we got on the rest? Yeah, right. So the rest of the world, let's see what's going on. So France stepped up isolation measures during a somber national address. The country's president, Emmanuel Macron, said those citizens who had not submitted to self-isolation over the weekend had put themselves and the people around them at risk, and announced stricter measures to be backed up by police enforcement. Now there we go. Macron's not playing around. He's like, yo, you guys want to play? You guys want to play? Nah, we ain't gonna do that.
I'm so American though, and I know it's different there, but I'm just so American because my first thought is they police ain't got guns. What are they gonna do? But then nobody has guns, so it's kind of different. But I think about it,
Yeah, Europe's got a very different culture than America when it comes to that stuff. So
yeah,
very different. It kind of makes me, what the hell is wrong with America? This country is this. You know what this country? This is kind of off remark for what we've been talking about. But I always say to myself that the United States is a rich third world country. I swear to God, we're so backwards here. I like
to say. How our national anthem is actually like a it's actually a racist shanty bar song. Actually, is what it came from.
Yeah,
I always like to say that I propose our national anthem should be a song written by Gil Scott-Heron. Home is where the hatred is.
Yeah, right. Yeah, America's.
It's basically talking about how someone, kicking drugs or whatnot, and had, my God, have you ever tried? It's a sick soul and this, that, and the third. But you could just replace the drugs with the guns, and that's America. So I always propose that should be America's new national anthem. Check it out, people. Listen to it.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting sick of our country. It's just I've been just annoyed. But anyways, that's besides the point. So okay, Qantas made deep cuts to its services following the leads of a host of Europe-based airlines. Qantas decided to slash its international flights, cutting international capacity by 90% until at least the end of May, and cutting domestic capacity by about 60%. OM freaking G. The ladies aren't going to like this piece of news, but Idris Elba contracted the virus. So
look at it. There's the whole black guilt community right now just let out a collective groan.
Yep,
Idris displeasure.
Elba. You can't go asking for a date now.
Girl, he'll really kill you now.
Yep. It says earlier this month he was photographed at an event at London's Wembley Arena with Sophie Gregoire Trudeau just over a week before she tested positive, so he got it from her. Elba's fellow actor Tom Hanks was released from hospital quarantine, while Hanks' wife, Rita Wilson, remained in isolation, having also tested positive. So hey man, actors are getting this stuff. We got athletes got this stuff. Politicians. Yo, this virus is everywhere.
Those are the only ones getting tested. What's crazy in the actual general population.
Oh, absolutely, man. I said it's everywhere. This virus is everywhere, dude. Everywhere. G7 stressed international cooperation. A statement released by Downing Street sought to highlight the significance of national governments not looking solely to their own interests, acknowledging that coronavirus is a global pandemic. The Grand National was cancelled. The sporting event, arguably the most important on the British horse racing calendar, was the latest to be called off as a result of the pandemic. And that's just the case all over the world. Events are being cancelled. So, coronavirus, man, it is changing human civilization. I think when this is all said and done, stuff's gonna be different. I don't know how different, and I don't know where those differences are gonna be, but
it's gonna be the new Rona order.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the new Rona.
To see how natural it was. You went with it. You know what I'm saying? It just was so smooth that it caught you up. You know what I'm saying? That's like butter.
The new Rona order. Yeah, that's it, man. We're gonna be marking time before Corona.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
We need to put that on T-shirts and coffee mugs.
The new Rona order. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. But you know what? We're gonna take a break now from all this bad coronavirus news. But don't fret, I have more coronavirus-related stuff after the break. But you know, we're gonna take a break. The song I found this time is from a duo called Blood Red Sun. It's composed of the members are Sandra Bjerman and Christopher Raman Shorui, I think is how you pronounce it. And, you know, I try and pick different genres to play here, so I don't want to just do hip-hop or just do rock or just do pop, so I kind of spread it around. So this is more on the kind of like the pop-rock side. It's a little bit mellow. I think it's kind of apropos. It's kind of like the theme of the music is kind of apropos considering the coronavirus and all that, so I'll cue that up, and we'll get that going right now. All right. So that was Blood Red Sun. That song was called Riot. And it was cool. I liked it. It was a nice little mellow song to, you know, drown your sorrows in coronavirus.
Right.
Coronavirus mood.
That was a good fetal position song.
Yeah, exactly. It was the song to listen to, you know, when you know the world is about to end. That was that song.
When your gerbil died.
Yeah, exactly. So we're back, and we're going to keep it rolling. You know, so, you know, everywhere you live now, everybody's saying, yo, stay, you know, don't gather, don't go to parties, don't go to the gym, don't go to the movie theaters. You know, if you can stay home from work, stay home from work. If you can telework, you know. Just try and yeah.
All you nasty mofos at the gym, wipe down your equipment. Ew.
Well, the gyms are closing, so you ain't got to worry about that.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying. I just felt like I need... ew, that's just gross. Wipe the equipment down. That's nasty.
Yeah, that's like we talked about last week when we were talking about, you know, hand sanitizer being bought up, and like, were people just dirty, or if, you know, if people were being clean, would just hand sanitizer be gone anyway? Probably the same thing with the gym. You know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be those wipes for you to wipe down the machines when you go to the gym. But if we were all wiping down the machines, wouldn't they have to be replenishing those wipes like all the time? Like, dang it, there's no more wipes! Because everybody keeps wiping down the machines. But in any event, so we're all stuck in our house these days. So, hey, why not watch some Netflix? So, for this next piece here for our pop culture section, the 20 best shows on Netflix to binge watch if you're stuck at home. Okay, some of these I've seen. I haven't seen all of them, but we're gonna run through all 20. Number 20 on this list is a show called Love Is Blind. Have you seen this one, Jay?
Have not.
Okay, I have. As a matter of fact, I was watching it with my daughter and my wife this afternoon. Have you ever heard of the show Love at First Sight? Have you heard of that?
I think vaguely.
He's like, this is not in my lane.
I do vaguely. I got a quick question before you continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
You were watching this show with your wife and your daughter.
Yes.
Were you watching this show because of your wife and your daughter?
No.
Okay.
No. It was just they were watching it. So then I'm like, oh, what's happening? And they were like, oh, this is a show that, and I will read it here. So I was like, so it says, number 20, Love is Blind. I have met the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. I've never seen her before. That pretty much sums up this romantic reality show. Forget physical appearance. Each person is on one side of a wall, and they must get to know each other without knowing what they look like. The goal is to get engaged because that's the only way the couples will actually be able to see each other. There are 10 episodes plus a reunion show. Episode 10 features the weddings. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
So the people are basically talk to each other through. They're like in these little pods and they're separated by a wall, and they just
sound like a confessional.
It sounds what?
Like a confessional.
In a sense, it kind of is like that because these people, because they can't see each other. They're sharing like really deep stuff about their personality, their lives, and stuff like that. So when they do that, they build these emotional bonds with each other, and then it ends up with, the guy. Usually, for the most part, the guys end up proposing, but they're all there. That's what they're there for. Like, they're on the show to become engaged and get married.
Yeah,
right. This isn't
right,
just
cool.
talk to people and we'll see what happens.
Else through.
Yeah. So. But it's number 20 on the list of shows to binge watch on this. The top 20 shows, this is number 20. Number 19 I have not seen. It's called Sex Education. It's in its second season.
Yep. I haven't seen it. It stars Asa Butterfield and Gillian Anderson. Let's see. It's a raunchy British teen comedy. It stars Butterfield as an awkward teenager who starts giving sex counseling for money. Anderson plays his mother, who is also a sex therapist. There are 8 episodes in each season. Fans of the show will be happy to learn it has been renewed for a 3rd season. I guess the premise sounds interesting. I might have to check it out and see what it's about, or how good it is, or whatever. Number 18 is I Am Not Okay With This. Now, this one, who was I? I was watching this with. I was in the living room with my son, and he was my youngest son. He's 18, and he was just going through some shows on Netflix, and I guess one of his friends was telling him about this show, so he started the show, and I think I was sitting there on my phone, and I was like, oh, what's this? And he was like, oh, some show called I'm Not Okay With This, and I was like, oh, okay. So, and it looked like one of those it looked like one of those teen movie, like those older teen movies or teen shows or whatever, because most of the characters are all teenagers in high school. But it actually turned out to be a very interesting show. And what I didn't know at the time, that I soon found out after I watched it, was that it's based off of a comic. So this one says, this new show follows a teenage girl trying to cope with high school, her family, her sexuality, and superpowers, which when they reveal that stuff on the show, you're like, whoa. And they like to make this big twist. There's this very big twist at the end of the season, which was amazing. But Sydney, played by Sophia Lillis, has no idea what is going on as she discovers she appears to have actual powers. This show is a quick binge watch featuring 7 episodes at about a half hour each. So both me and my son basically watched the whole season in one sitting. It was that good. I would highly recommend this show as a watch. Dirty Money's good.
Let's see.
Dirty Money's next.
Dirty Money,
Money's
yes.
good.
Oh, Dirty Money.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's good. You know, I haven't seen the whole series, but I watched a bunch of shows. Like the last one I watched was Jared Kushner's. It's basically rich people and how they're evil, like how evil rich people build their evil empires.
okay,
I like it.
cool. So that one definitely sounds interesting. That one I haven't seen. Number 16 is The Pharmacist. I've heard that one. I've heard about that one. This is another one I haven't seen. Have you seen this one?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Okay. Well, there are people that I work with that like it. And I guess it deals with like the OxyContin controversy with the
whole opioid epidemic, not just
right.
OxyContin, all those, you know,
Exactly. Yeah.
or not, prescription drugs.
Right. So that one's a documentary. You might want to check it out. I can't recommend it because I haven't seen it. Number 15 is The Stranger, another one I haven't seen.
Me either.
So, and by the way, this article is on.
MLive.
What is it? What'd you say?
MLive.
MLive, yeah, MLive. Okay, so you guys can check out the information on this, and we'll just go down the line. So there's Cheer, which is number 14, which I would imagine is about cheerleaders.
yeah, right. It's people brought you to the last chance university people from football are bringing you the exact same thing for cheerleading.
Okay, and it's based in Texas.
But where Last Chance U football is based.
Right.
Exact same thing for cheerleading.
Okay, so it's a documentary. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, cool. A documentary on cheerleading. Number 13 is The Circle and The Circle Brazil, which is a show I haven't seen as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen this.
Is this a game show of some sort?
Yeah, it's basically almost like a Big Brother thing where the people live together and whoever's voted the most popular within that group gets $100,000 prize.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So you know that gonna get extra petty real fast.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're a mother or an expecting mother, I guess number 12 is Babies.
Or expecting fathers. Well,
yeah,
I mean, would they be interested in
I
seeing
know
this shit
that
too?
was extremely sexist. So, Babies are the let's see. This is a docuseries that explores the science of a baby's first years of life. So any expecting parent or current parent, with babies.
Way to be Generation X.
I know,
Joe.
Right? That was my instinctual Gen Xness showing itself. Babies is at number 12. Number 11 is Pandemic, and wow, I missed this one. And this is almost so on the nose for 2020. So, I mean, it's a docuseries. Looks at people on the front lines of the battle against influenza. They might want to change that to look at people on the front lines of the battle against the coronavirus.
Man, I fought in that Rona wall. I served at the wall.
And then what's funny is there's a little quote here that says, "You'll see firsthand their efforts to try and stop a global outbreak. When we talk about another flu pandemic happening, it's not a matter of if, but when." Very prescient. Goodness.
Prescient.
Wow. Number 10 is The Chef Show. So yet another cooking show. That's all I have to say.
And they travel around. I mean, okay. We get it at this point.
Yeah, it's been done. I can't see how. I don't know why a cooking show is in the top 20, but wait a minute. There's 2 cooking shows in the top 20. Ugly Delicious.
So this is like that guy who eats nasty food. There's another guy who eats nasty food but calls it delicious.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Number 8, 100 Humans, Life's Questions Answered. It's a social experiment show. 100 people of all ages and backgrounds. That goal is to conduct all different kinds of scientific experiments. Sounds interesting. Might check it out.
Yeah, right. Just if I'm bored.
Yeah, that's one of those ones like I've already watched my list. Let me just check this
right,
out.
Right, like you can tell this is when the quarantine's getting real.
This is when we're on day 30 of the quarantine. Right. Extreme Engagement is number 7. Another docuseries. There's a lot of docuseries in this list. And it's about marriage. So there's that.
Yeah, they tripping.
Russian Doll is another marriage one, it looks like. This is number 6. This show has the same premise as the movie Groundhog Day. Oh, no. It's not a marriage show. This is not a
marriage at all. It's like Groundhog Day, bro. The Russian version.
Russian Doll. So this is not a docuseries even. It's fiction. It's a fiction show. So cool. But I haven't seen it. Lock and Key is a show that I've heard a lot of good things about.
Yeah, me too. It's on my list.
Yeah, especially for people who have watched Stranger Things and have also watched this. They've recommended it to me to watch. I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my list, like you said, Jay. So that's number 5. Number 4 is Dead to Me, another show I have not watched. Most of these I haven't watched. Christina Applegate is in this one. She's from Married with Children.
And Office Space.
Wait, no. Christina Applegate. Wait, was she in Office Space?
Yeah, was she on that? Yeah,
no, that was Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, you're right. My bad.
Yeah, Christina Applegate was. She wasn't in Office Space, but there was a TV show that she was in other than Married with Children. But Married with Children is what she's known for.
Kelly.
Yes, Kelly Bundy. There's 10 episodes and it's a half hour each. Searching for a hit and run driver who killed her husband. Dang, it's weird. Anyways. Number 3 is Santa Clarita Diet, which is about a wife and mother who's also a zombie.
It sounds funny. Like, the description sounds funny.
Yeah, unfortunately, this show got canceled by Netflix.
Well, I mean, there's 3 seasons.
So you get 3, and that's all you get. Number 2 is Unbelievable, a miniseries inspired by real events about a teenage girl who reports that she was raped and recants her report and is then accused of lying about it. So I guess it's a fictional retelling of a real thing that happened. And number 1 is one of my favorite shows that I'm watching right now, which is Ozark. And it's got...
that's good.
It's very good. You got to see that one, Jay. This Ozark is very, very good.
I would, at minimum, on this list, like, at least replace one of these cooking shows, or maybe one of these damn marriage shows with Who Killed Malcolm X.
Yeah, definitely. We can definitely get rid of one of the marriage shows or one of the cooking shows.
Have you seen Who Killed Malcolm X?
I haven't, but I'm down to get rid of a cooking show or a marriage show, regardless.
I'm just saying, you should watch that one. That's fantastic.
All right,
I maybe finished the whole thing.
Got it. But yeah, Ozark's really good. I think it deserves first place on this list. So this is one that I will recommend if you're stuck in the house, and you probably should be. Then check out Ozark. And that's our list for this section. And now we're headed to our Florida Man section.
Florida Man.
So now this one, oh my goodness, was poetic justice to me, I have to say. So this Florida Man story has to deal with a politician. The politician's name is Matt Gaetz, and he's a rep from Florida, a U.S. rep from Florida.
Life comes at you fast.
Say that again?
Life comes at you fast.
Yeah. So Matt Gaetz when the coronavirus was about a couple weeks ago, I get he was on the House floor wearing a gas mask, and he was doing it as a joke to basically downplay the coronavirus, which I did basically, myself.
He was He was the Rudy Gobert of politics.
Yes, he was. And so he, as a joke, he wore a gas mask. So that's overkill in the House chambers. And then he ends up being getting tested for the coronavirus because I guess he started feeling sick, and it turns out he has the coronavirus. So let me get down to the part where that's the relevant part for this, and it's totally in line with Florida Man. So let's read it like this. Florida Man, days after wearing a gas mask on the floor of the House of Representatives to mock concerns over COVID-19, Florida Man has continued to stay in the news about the incident. Following his gas mask stunt, one of his constituents died from the virus. Then Florida Man potentially infected President Donald Trump aboard Air Force One, which according to Donald Trump's doctor, he got tested and he's negative, but I probably don't believe it, but we'll see. He might get sick. After he was in contact with somebody who tested positive for the virus, Florida Man then said he would self-quarantine for 14 days. He spoke with the Pensacola News Journal about his experience with quarantining, and he said, "I couldn't stay in a hotel," Florida Man told the newspaper. "I slept in a Walmart parking lot somewhere off of 85, he explained. He slept
that's about right.
in a Florida parking lot. Matt Gaetz, U.S. House of Representative, Republican from Florida. I don't know if he's married. If he's married, his wife was probably like, "You can't sleep here. You got the coronavirus." Or he was away from home, I guess. I don't know, but he slept in a Walmart parking lot.
Sounds about right.
I just thought that was hilarious. But it's for the most part, all of the Republicans leading up to last week were all downplaying the coronavirus. Well, not all of them. Some of them weren't, but a good portion of the right was downplaying this virus just because Donald Trump was downplaying it. Matt Gaetz was also one of those out front representatives that was downplaying it hilariously with his gas mask. And then he gets infected, potentially infected the president, and then he finds out he has it. And by the way, Lindsey Graham also has it. So both of those two high-profile Republicans, one in the House, one in the Senate.
And Lindsey Graham is in the target population. Like, come on, Rona. The one thing we out here looking for you to do, Rona, is go ahead and jump up on Trump. You out here playing games.
Right.
You out here playing games with us, Rona.
Yeah, so both those guys are now self-quarantining. But, Florida never ceases to give us crazy stories about the people that are from there. And now we could throw in a U.S. House of Representatives, member of the U.S. House of Representatives, into the Florida Man story.
Yeah. I mean, it's Florida.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Where's Adam Nunes from?
Oh, Nunes, he's from California.
Nunes, he's from California.
Yeah,
okay.
He's from California.
Yeah, I'm just saying he be on some Florida shit. So
you talking about Devin Nunes, right?
Devin Nunes. There we go.
He's from California.
He be on some Florida shit, hiding in the bushes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yep, that's it for the show. We hope you guys had fun. If you were, happened to be stuck in your homes during this coronavirus season that we're in, hopefully you've gotten some entertainment from this, and maybe it helped you laugh a little bit. But with that being said, Jay, do you have any last words before we get out of here?
1.5 meters.
1.5 meters. That is correct. With that, let me just go ahead and cue up our outro music so we can get up out of here. But before I do that, actually, let me go ahead and take us out of here with some music. Alrighty. So with that being said, the Flooded Talk is over. We're on here, Twitch live every Monday night, 9:30. You can check us out. Archives are going to be on YouTube. Audio is going to be in a podcast. And you can get that on iTunes. You can get that on Stitcher. You can get that on Spotify, Google Play.
Everywhere you get your podcast.
Anywhere you get, exactly. Anywhere you get your podcast. We're going to be there to entertain you guys. But with that being said, we are out of here. Peace, folks.
Talk is a 2 Cent Planet production. Go to 2centplanet.com for other shows and articles.